Start recording. Yo YouTubers, this is not, repeat, this is not a live broadcast. Yo YouTubers, last night, or was it yesterday, I sat down using my OBS studio thing, and I recorded a whole speech, about half an hour maybe, I'm not sure, about alien greys. Really interesting speech, right folks? And then when I watched it back on the recording, it was the actual, I'm not kidding you, I might actually play a bit of it for you at a later date to show you that I don't know if this will work. I'm going to keep this speech extremely brief, right? Because it might be scrambled. And when I went back to the video that I'd done, the speech, it was scrambled. My voice was like sort of like when I was talking on the recording, and it's never happened before, right folks? But I was actually talking like real, like, as far as I'm concerned, secret stuff that no one else seems to talk about the grey fellas, the little greys, you know, the horrible ones, like the ones that are mean, the fallen angels. You wouldn't believe it, mate. They're like, have you ever seen the film Boogie Nights with Mark Wahlberg? About he's a star, you know, he's an adult acting star in the 70s. It's a true story apparently. But you know the character Burt Reynolds plays in that movie, like, well, in reality, in that realm of crazy sexual whatever, right, the Burt Reynolds guy is more than likely to be a shape-shifting alien grey, if you know what I mean. They're just downright disgusting perverts, basically, and they hate humanity. Anyway, I won't talk any more about that because it was scrambled when I spoke about it yesterday, so I don't want to take the chance of scrambling the verbal on this one. So I'm going to be brief, I'm going to be very quick and try and get this speech over with. I've got my magic, oh no, where's the, my magic pen. Anyway, I need to activate my magic pen. I want my magic pen. I don't care what, I want my magic pen now. I want my magic pen now. Where is it? What do you think of me Keith Lemon impersonation? Keith Lemon. I'm going to show you that magic pen. Look at me magic pen. It's good, that, folks, yeah. Nah, shit impersonation though. Alright, let's hopefully, where am I? Image, video capture device. Okay, let's go, come on. See if we can get paint on. Paint, Windows accessories. Windows accessories. I love Windows accessories. Oh, I love that. Imagine old men talking in a pub. Imagine old men talking in a pub, like 18, 90-year-olds, like our, you know, like our grandparents' generation, like in a pub. Like, oh, I love Windows accessories. I love the way it looks. You know, the way it looks on the screen and that. Imagine old men with like techno feel, like. Be an interesting sketch, wouldn't it? Yeah. Oh, there's always a sarcastic moaning in the audience, isn't there? Okay, let's test my magic pen. Bruce's magic pen's brought to you by. Oh, I knew I had to do something. Okay, I think we're on the screen. We are. Whew, here's my magic pen. Look, I've got one of these things, guys. It's quite exciting, actually. It's a. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I don't have any deals or sponsorship deals or anything, but like the Trust magic pen. The Trust magic pen. Trust to draw your pictures magically. That's 50 quid in the bank there for the sponsorship deal. Right, this is what my question is today, folks. This is what the speech is going to be. It's very quick, brief, and we'll try and keep it brief, you know me. And if I can't upload it and if this is scrambled again, I'm going to go ape shit, I tell you. I've just tested it, I've just done recordings, then played it back, and everything sounds great. Whereas yesterday, honestly, I don't know, over half an hour, I sat there talking and the sound was all ruined. I've never seen that before, guys. I think it was in the aliens scrambled it, you know. Those little fellas, they look like little balloon heads. Little balloon heads, you know, they've got balloons on their heads. Right, here's my question, folks. Is the Earth flat? Okay, what are the possibilities? Oh, I needed a couple of gadgets. Just hang on a second. Oh, there's my gadget. I have not read this Bible from beginning to end, folks. I have a confession for you folks out there, right, guys? How many people on this planet, right, would throw their Bibles out, the one they read originally? I've actually done that to my Bibles. I've had 2 Bibles that cost quite a bit of money, whatever, and I had to throw them out because I felt that like they were being corrupted by the Freemasons and the King James people. And because it says King James on that, right, I would not trust a single hair on the head of King James to be a representative of what the scriptures are supposed to stand for. Trust me. No, don't trust me. Hate me. Hate me and don't trust me. You're just being awkward now. Is the Earth flat, folks? That picture behind me there is a nice photograph, right? It's Apollo 15, I think. And I was compelled by those pictures. I just thought they were quite trippy and far out, right, folks? As a person I'm interested in art and photography, and I think those photographs are taken by photographers legitimately in space, by astronauts. They're legitimately photographers from the moment they take them pictures. And other people recognise them as works of art in photography, right? Because we can't just... It's one of them things that the average Joe just can't get up with a camera, no matter what cameras we've got and what we own and what knowledge and photography courses and all that stuff, right, folks? We can't go into space and just take pictures like that, can we? There has to be a lot of money spent just to allow the photographers to do the photographs, right? That's what got me into the pictures of the Earth and stuff. It was the photography. The photos on the moon, I didn't really care, but they are interesting if they are real. Am I not right or am I wrong? But anyway, that's not what the speech is about. Is the Earth flat, right? And let me tell you what I think personally. I'm a witness of things going crazy on this Earth. I want to see things going mad on the Earth. I want to see all the things in Revelation. Not like a sadist watching people suffer. I'm prepared to stand out on my balcony when the end of the world occurs or some kind of cataclysmic event, and I would like to stand there and just either melt or shrivel up or explode or... I personally think it would be bloody exciting, don't you? But I wouldn't be running along the road catching people like hitchhiking going, please give me a lift, or riding my bicycle as fast as I can to get out of the blast zone where the nuclear bomb was going to hit Liverpool. I would be on my veranda waiting for the shockwave to hit me. I'd probably have my video camera running as well, hoping that like the camera survives, like the Cloverfield movie, like. They find this video camera of this man standing on his veranda going, yes! just blowing up like a balloon, just going... I wouldn't mind it, folks. I recommend people not to fear anything, whether it's grotesque, prolonged even zombie business. Even if there's a loads of zombies raided me and started to go and eating my arms and eating my head and everything, I'd be like, ha ha ha, they're real zombies, this is crazy. That's I think that's all you need is as a positive attitude. But personally, right, that's because I want to see things on Earth as they go. Right, folks, I'd like to, I wouldn't, if I had a family, I'd like 3 kids and a wife, obviously I wouldn't go, come on love, let's go stand and take the kids and let's melt on the veranda. You'd obviously make some kind of decision to do a runner, wouldn't you? Like anyone in the right mind would. I wouldn't myself if I was alone. I'd actually want to see what happens, it's the way I'm like. But what was the point I was making? Like the flat Earth, right? There are 2 possibilities that your Earth is flat, folks, right? One of them is legitimate, and one of them is not, right? So there are 2 choices: flat Earth number 1 and flat Earth number 2. Here is, in my simplest way, is flat Earth number 1, the legitimate one. It's flat. When the pages are closed, you know, every single person, look, you can actually, it's flat enough to put on my head and go like that. You see? But when it's closed, when them pages are closed, right, we all know they're flatter than, even flatter than a pancake, isn't it? The space between them pages there, right? And then there, if you've just been reading them verses, sitting down in your armchair, reading your Bible, as you do, right? Say you put it down on the bookshelf, you go, wow, I've just read that there. And between there and there, it's go flatter than a razor blade, flatter than a pancake. But because it's a living book, right, folks, because there's a spiritual element to this book, if you are endowed with the knowledge of the Holy Spirit and it enlightens you for real, folks, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about like some man in a dress. When the Holy Spirit comes in and says, and carries on talking to you because you've just read that verse or that paragraph or whatever, and it's like, yeah, and because it talks to people. People don't realise this, on a one-to-one level. There's no rock star on this planet, right, folks? There ain't no rock star, right? And like Elvis, the Beatles, anyone, no matter how famous they are, right? None of those people can go out, right? They can go out and meet the fans one by one in a spaceship or some kind of, you know, way of like, say if Elvis was going around in a spaceship visiting his fans, right? Saying thank you for the loyalty and all that kind of business, right? It's very possible, right? There's no way he can visit all of those fans at the same time, is there? Let's think about that for a second. Not even if it's the Beatles, Elvis, whoever, Frank Sinatra, anyone. No matter how big their fan base is, right, guys? They can contact them one at a time, and it's going to take a bloody long time, isn't it, right? You remember Ringo Starr complaining he was getting too much fan mail, and it was getting too much for him. You can understand, can't you? Imagine how many people contact Ringo Starr. But there's no way on earth, mate, that they're going to be able to contact all of them fans back at the same time. It's just no way. Unless it's like a huge concert and every single fan on earth is in the crowd. And that's impossible, isn't it, right? Whereas God, when he comes to answer a prayer or speak to you or me or them or those and anyone it goes to speak to, God can actually speak to every single worshipper on this earth at the same time, in their minds, in their mind's eye, in their psyche, in their spiritual presence, in their soul. It's only God can do that, right, folks? Can speak to every single loyal fan and follower at the same time all over the planet. Because I know, as I speak now, there could be a guy in his bedroom in Guatemala going, oh, thank you, Lord, this is awesome, seeing a vision. There could be a man in Italy going, yeah, the Spirit of the Lord, having a vision, and God's talking to him, like, and ad infinitum, millions of people all over the earth at the same time. Rock stars and pop stars can't do that, and celebrities, they can't do that, you know what I'm saying? You've got to write fan mail one at a time and speak to them one at a time, right? Because this book is magical, right? If you were actually into it and you're serious and you read, especially if you've read it from beginning to end and your eyeball has gone like every single page, what, like I say, as flat as a razor blade. You put it down, you chill out, you just put it down like it's flat. A lot of people leave them standing up, don't they, like that? You know, when you put it on the bookshelf, it's like that. And trust me, it doesn't make a difference. It's like there's no axis in the Bible once the pages is closed. It's magical. It's simple as, if you're really into it. Right? That's Flat Earth number 1. And if you're inside that, or your copy of most people have gold around there, remember? So that makes it even better still, do you get me? Like the gold around the edge of the pages and stuff, the gilded edges. And most people, when they close their Bibles, they're in another dimension, folks. That's why they don't pay any attention to people, or if things are going wrong or whatever. It's because they're usually beyond that point of worrying about things, right? Because we all know that book, the book, the scripture, the real stuff, the real vein of truth, not King James. Man, I just wish he didn't have anything to do with it, you know what I mean? I wish none of them people in the modern world had anything to do with it. I'd rather have the raw scripture. But if it was written in the sand and it was written on documents and parchments, you think the Dead Sea Scrolls was the only copy of them scrolls actually found? They were the only complete set of them scrolls buried on this planet. There's got to be loads all over the place. They weren't stupid, the fellas that wrote those scriptures, mate. But because it was written in the sand, the magical effect takes effect on the human race, whether we like it or not. Because it's written by brilliant men. Prophets, elders, wise men. It's Flat Earth number 1. That's a legitimate Flat Earth, folks. You can actually, because this book is, when it was finished, by the time it was completed, there's no space travel. There's not even a jet plane. There's no railway trains or whatever. It's a very primitive, what can I say? And like it's a non-modernised level. You can go right back to when the time it's written, if you're that deep enough. You know, if you're into it, right? Each person to their own. Like I say, God will speak to you on a one-to-one level if you need it. And that's all you people out there in your millions at the same time, in your different time zones, different countries. It's 8 o'clock there, it's 12 o'clock over there, blah, blah, blah. Only God can speak to every single person at the same time, man. Flat Earth scenario number 2. Beep, beep, beep. Hello? Hello? There's your screen. It's flat. You'd be used to looking at like pictures of Earth on there, or Google Map, or Google Space, or Google Mars even. You go Google. Oh, I've got one of these things, guys, because you can see it's cracked. I found that on the road when I was cycling. So if anyone sees this out there, right, guys, and recognises it, Motorola, and you've lost it, give me a shout and I might be able to return it. If you're from the Whittle, the Whittle, who's ever, I found it while I was on a bicycle ride. I can't use it. It's still got the SIM card in it. But anyway, I'm just explaining to you. There's my phone. It's also a flat Earth, but the screen's flat. There's no internet on it. There's no Google Earth, nothing. I'm not going to see anything amazing in graphics on that screen. I can look at photographs and, I can take pictures. It's relatively flat, isn't it? But it's not. The screen's flat, though. The LCD is flat. That thing, the entire surface of it is flat. Also, your tablets, anything that's flat is flat, mate. Flatmates, you get it? Why did the hedgehog cross the road? To go and see his flatmate. Anyway, this that's scenario flat earth number 2. And inside that there's a chip which is also flat. Right, folks? You know the score? Well, there's more than one chip in there. It doesn't get flatter than that, mate. But it's got nothing to do with the Holy Spirit, though, guys. Unless you're a believer and you've got the Holy Bible in there stored on it, maybe, and so forth. You know, like a digital version of the Bible. It's like, you might have hope, you know. Believers who own these things, right, guys? You know you've got nothing to worry about. You know that, right? But it doesn't mean that the evil one isn't going to try and manipulate everyone with them. Do you understand? Just be prepared for it, you know. If you're okay, you're okay. You know yourself. Flat earth number 2. Definitely flat. If we count the amount of people that own one of these but don't own one of them books we call the Holy Bible, and the amount of people that own a Holy Bible but don't own one of these, I wonder what it would be. I wonder what the percentage rate would be. It'd probably be 50-50 probably on the planet Earth, wouldn't it? But one's the legitimate flat Earth, and the other is a illegitimate flat Earth. It's man-made, it's nothing to do with God's word, it's got technology in it, it's going to have hidden nooks and crannies under the chips and all of that. What I've spoke about the hidden places in your chips and that. Flat Earth number 2. So, you're kind of excused. And of course, if you're into the Bible, flat earth, you don't really, time doesn't even matter anymore, does it, right? Space rockets and all that business, it doesn't matter. What I think NASA and the space agencies do, right, folks, which we should really be grateful for, is confirm things like the luminaries and stuff like that. And, well, there's some kind of chess game that went on in the solar system and God started it and someone tried to challenge him, and that's why we've got a solar system that's kind of like got shadows and occultism going on, folks. You understand? The black side of the moon is like constantly warring with the light side of the moon, and God split the darkness from the light and saw the light was good and the darkness was bad. But anyway, I'm going to tell you why I know. I'm not a person that I read the Bible. I've read the whole Bible from beginning to end. I don't own that Bible anymore, folks. I'm sorry to tell you that, folks, but I did actually throw it away because I felt it wasn't my book. I felt like there was a load of Freemasons in there and everything, but it was the one that I actually read from beginning to end, and I loved it. It took me a year to read. It doesn't exist anymore, guys. I threw it out because it didn't feel like it was my book. I felt like I was sharing it with uninvited guests. You should have your Bible for yourself. If you've got a wife, she's got a Bible. If you've got kids, give them a Bible each. Everyone's got a Bible each. You don't have to go, you know, when you went to the school dinners or a restaurant and you started looking at the man's plate next to you and started taking potatoes off his plate, you'd start like hitting your hand, wouldn't you? Going, what are you doing? Well, you shouldn't look at other people's Bibles and you shouldn't look at other people's diaries and things like that, should you? But specifically, there's enough of these on the planet for everyone to have one, isn't there? It's already there, mate. God's word's already done, sealed and delivered. It's not a Book of Mormon. That's a flat earth you definitely don't want to go into. Trust me. So anyway, my take on why I think the earth is a globe, right? First thing, obviously, I've looked at so many photographs of the earth from space and stuff, even on, and I'm not proud of this, folks, but on LSD. If you're on LSD, right, guys, and you look at them pictures, you see a real earth, trust me. Or if you're on magic mushrooms and you look at pictures taken by astronauts, that's when you start seeing things in the most peculiar way, you know, and you see the reality, and it might be different because you're on a different parallax, but something shows you that the camera's not lying, right? That's just my experience, right? No one has to agree with me, no, folks, because the deeper you're on your Bibles, if you're a pastor, if you're a learned man and you're actually working for God and do work for God, not like me, I'm a lazy son of a gun, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like a witness. I'm not going to a congregation. I don't put any work into helping other people, pray and all that, like. I just get on with my life. But you can literally banish all space travel, you can banish all that kind of stuff, but you've got to be a person who's been isolated from all those modern elements. You understand what I'm saying? Like a hillbilly or something, or the dude that lives in the woods for 20 years and He hasn't seen a car. We can't escape space travel and things like that, right, folks, if we're in the modern world, because the technology for these kinds of things and stuff is come from space travel and the astronauts and the contributions from all the scientists, not just NASA, right, folks, but the ESA and the Indian Space Agency and whoever else is having a go, and the Chinese Space Agency. You know, a lot of inventions have emerged because of it, right? That's one technological breakthrough that makes people... If we choose, we've got to be in the modern world. If we use cars, if we use mobile phones, if you're using anything ultra modern, guys, you've got to be connected to outer space and you know, the moon, and it's their network. Well, if you go completely rural, no electricity, folky, what do you call it, rustic. If you live a rustic life and you have a real log fire and you chop trees down and you don't turn it on with like a little spark or igniter, or your central heating goes like a little processor tells you to put all the heaters on at the same time. Being rustic is the best way you can get into your Bible and get away from everything. I can't do it. If I could, I would not be in this flag, guys. If I had the money, I'd have a cottage in the middle of Wales or Ireland or Scotland. I wouldn't talk to no one. I'd be banging sheep. I'd be like, oh, sorry. That was just a sad joke. But anyway, right. This is what I think. Well, I'm going to tell you, folks, in my opinion, I'm going to reveal something to you why I think the Earth is a globe. My photographs, all the pictures of Earth and space and everything. I've done a speech on my channel somewhere. If you go in the beginning of my channel, there's a thing called They Walked on the Moon, right? It's my own point of view, telling people that I know they walked on the moon. But it doesn't have to be relevant to you. That's all you need to know, isn't it? You know, I tell someone in America, Liverpool just scored a goal and they're winning against Manchester United. Some American dude's going to go, I don't want to hear that. I'm into baseball. Do you understand? What's relevant to one man might be totally irrelevant to another. We've all got the right to decide, right? But this is my spin on why the Earth. I think the Earth, right? Now, once upon a time, there was a firmament. God must have done something like this. It's in the vacuum, remember? The vacuum of space is infinite, right, folks? It will never stop. The planets have got a stopping and starting point, haven't they? Like each ball, each celestial globe, it's like there, and it starts there, and ends there, or there. Where does the vacuum end, folks? Where does the vacuum end, and who owns the vacuum? Who's put a flag? What country has put a flag, planted a flag in the vacuum of space, in the infinite vacuum of space? It's all in the body of God, guys. You know, the vacuum of space is that, like, we're inside the ghost, basically, and it's still moving forward. But in those old days when he said there's a firmament and whatever, right, this is the way I think God kind of built what we're used to, but we only see it from a human perspective. How can we possibly see it from God's perspective? It's not possible. But this is what he done when he created this firmament. Like, this is the landmass, what we call a landmass, right? And somehow he worked it out. And I think the pyramids are something to do with Enoch or something to do with God's architects. And he put these pyramids in the middle of the firmament, didn't he? So that, like, when the continents, the pyramids must have been put there when the continents were one joined mass, that, like, just as it is in that picture, like a big land mass. I don't know how God does it. No one's going to be able to tell you that, because we can't do that. We can't make things like that, like. But the pyramids being right at the centre of the landmass of Earth, right at the epicenter, that had to be like, God must have calculated it as one big, like, either a square or a circle, and he knew where the dead centre is. And then, why is that? Oh, I've got the eraser on. Right, so imagine that's the pyramid in the middle, the main pyramid in the middle of it all, like. Then all these continents all broke up, like. Right, and it doesn't look visibly, when you look at a picture of Earth, you don't visibly see the continents, like, and you can calculate where the centre is. But we know that pyramid is there in the centre, and I think only God could have worked that one out for starters, right? I won't go into what the pyramid is yet. It's a lot of truths emerging on YouTube already about that. But there's a firmament, right? And then somehow there's the oceans and everything, and somehow how God has done it is like, well, doesn't like when you look at blades of grass in the morning, a little ball of dew, and it's like a perfect little ball, like you just see it everywhere, you know what I mean? You see that formulation of everything going into like bloop. So he adds the water somehow, he adds the constituents that make a planet Earth that's going to sustain life, that's going to create everything, including trouble, crap, brilliance, bliss, magic, awesome events. I don't know what to call it, like all the crap as well though, all the sin, all of famine, all those things, because of the way the solar system has ended up. That's not really what I'm going on about, right? So, if I went, do you get what I'm saying? The sense of where the pyramid is, it must have been a calculated matter. Right, now if I go, get rid of this picture, and I just go, now this is why I think the Earth, this is the interesting bit, right folks, this is the bit at the end. I just hope the sound doesn't go crazy on me when I play it back, but I could do a circle with the circle thing, but I'll just do a circle as if it's a circle, like just a hand-drawn circle, right? There's the circle, right? Now there's the surface, right? Now just imagine I'm there, sitting there in an armchair. Obviously the size of me there would be, right, now here's where it gets crazy and interesting, right folks? In the same way that I told you folks, and I've been honest about it, I don't do it anymore. I might be up for another mushroom trip one day in the future, maybe, I don't know. But I don't need to, I've seen enough, right, folks? I wouldn't recommend it if you're not into it, right? But it can be biblical, guys. Right. Now, there's the Earth. And I'm on the surface, and I'm aware of it being a globe, folks, in my head, because I've looked at pictures of space and I've looked at the astronaut things and all that. In my head, I don't care, because remember, I'm not trying to escape. I want to be on the world. If it does go crazy, I have had visions of it all ending. You see, guys, I've seen some horrible things that could only add up to a cataclysm in the future at some point, and it was horrible. And I hope and pray that every being on Earth who's decent is evacuated from it somehow by the Spirit, and they've got nothing to worry about. I'm sure we don't have anything to worry about. I might have. I'm not saying I won't, but okay, but this is what we know. At the sense of the Earth, do you reckon that there's the sense of the Earth, right? And can I make it like can I make it like red, so it looks like a fiery red? What have we done here? Where are we? No. Man, fill tool. What's it called? The fill tool, right? Now I want a red colour here. It's in red. So why isn't it gonna? Oh, it did it, yeah. I thought it wasn't going to do it in red. Right. Do you get what I'm showing there then? It's where's the brush? Right. And I'm at the top there, the little dot. Remember, I'm in England or Wirral or Birkenhead in the Wirral on this massive globe, and I know roughly down here somewhere, roughly Australia type thing, or there's an opposite. And because of that, I watch TV on New Year's Day, right, folks? And in Australia, they're letting their fireworks off. Here, I want the black colour, right? They're letting their fireworks off here, and then later on that night, we're letting our fireworks off up there, so we know that there's a rotation element going on, don't we? Because when we have New Year's Eve, right, folks, if the Earth was flat, Wouldn't everyone on the globe all be letting the fireworks off at the same time? Do you get what I'm saying? These human celebrations and these things that people do give the game away, guys, that it's a bloody globe. If you're not in your Bible and devoted to staying in there and not wanting to see anything modern. But this is the point. I did a magic mushroom trip once, folks. Now, I've done 2 magic mushroom trips, right, folks, that were extremely biblical, and I didn't expect it, and I certainly wasn't praying to God when it happened, and I wasn't expecting anything from God, because it's drugs, isn't it? You know, I'm just thinking, oh, these are like magic mushrooms, these are illegal, you know, if they're processed, they're illegal. Not illegal to pick them or whatever, but once you process them, the law can, like, take them off you and things. They can't really arrest you for them, like, but they can seize them. But here in England and in Ireland, in Wales, in Scotland, you can pick magic mushrooms freely. And in America, you've got your version of magic mushrooms. You know, if you read the Don Juan books and things like that, you'll be familiar with psilocybin, right? Now, I did psilocybin once, right? And it's on YouTube. There's a speech out there about the beast. You know, the real beast, and it says, you know, the beast that batters and beats up the 2 witnesses, right? There's a speech of mine on YouTube about the 2 witnesses being beat, and my experience of being actually battered by a beast, right? And that beast was ugly, man. It was an ugly, smelly animal. It was a vile, like a mix between a bear, a lion, a gorilla, but ugly, smelly, disgusting, and vile, and way more powerful than me, folks. It beat me up, it battered me. I actually had a really bad experience, right? But I didn't phone the police or phone an ambulance and try and get myself. I just stayed in my bedroom dying, basically. I didn't call for help or nothing. But anyway, that was an experience, man, and I seen that animal was real, right, folks. Read the 2 witnesses, and the beast kills those 2 witnesses, even though they're endowed by God. You know, God's with them, obviously. And he comes and picks them up at the end of it, and it's all over. It was a nightmare. It just ends all of a sudden, doesn't it, right? After being dead for 3.5 days in the street and that. 2 witnesses. That event in our timeline still hasn't happened yet, folks. It gets prophesied early on in the Bible, and then it actually occurs. It unfolds in Revelation, doesn't it, right? We all know Revelation is the big climax to everything, like cataclysmic. Now, the beast, right, guys, at the very best, the beast is going to be... I was summoned, I was taken from my bedroom, right, guys, to a place called... The Bible calls it spiritual Sodom. It's the bit where, like, the obelisks and pyramids and solid rock structures made of the granite stuff and all that. That's the spiritual Sodom. It's where all the maniacs have built statues, idols, statues of pharaohs, all the junk, all the crap, all the stuff that takes you away from the true creator and makes you worship a king or a pharaoh, or what they would call the god kings. You know, that this ridiculous attitude that if they had more money or more power, that made them gods. Like, there's only one God. There's no gods plural. There's no such thing as gods, and there's no goddesses neither, folks. There's no such thing as a goddess. It doesn't exist. There's only one God, right? But that's not the point. God is, like, to me, all this vacuum, all this infinite vacuum, remember? It's infinite, folks. That's where God's playground is. That's God's blank canvas, man. Have you seen the Hubble photographs and stuff? Come on, man. But there's the core, right? Earth's core is meant to be on fire, right? It's meant to be on fire. There's some kind of... And we know that because there's things coming up like that, and it gets up to the surface and becomes a volcano. But it doesn't just do it there. It go like... volcano. Volcano. You know, it creeps up from the centre, doesn't it? Obviously, it's obviously coming from the centre, right? But the beast dwells, like, say, as far as I'm concerned, my best calculation of the spiritual Sodom would be like catacombs and places like that beneath the Vatican, and the people that worship it would know all them places, and they're like monks and kind of servants for the beast. They all worship it, you see, you know what I mean? That's the sad part, like, but we know it goes to perdition. Is no more. That's the beast. The beast, the Bible says, is and was and is no more. That means if you're good, you're faithful, you're never going to encounter it. It's no more. If you're like me, a mad nutcase that takes magic mushrooms and go like, come on, God, let's see what you can show me, come on. You know, you're asking for trouble, mate, you know what I mean? And that's what happened to me. It terrified me, folks. It was the most terrifying, scary, horrible. I've been beat up by gangs, I've been battered, but that was a terrifying experience for me. Not recommend. But the beast, in my opinion, right, because it's like a physical, like, monster, ugly, smelly thing. He's not exactly a superficial creature. He's not a primeval, perfect example of a creature. He's a smelly monster, and everyone worships it, thinking it's amazing. It's just a smelly, trampy monster, but it's bigger than me, and it battered me, right? He'd be down here, mate, if he was, like, underground. Like, I don't know if that's visible on the screen, because my screen's tiny, like, but say I'm up there, on the top there, on the surface, right, and the beast somehow summons me into his plane, somehow magically, because I'm stupid enough to do a magic mushroom journey without realising what was going on, like. That's about as far down as the beast is going to be, with all his tunnels and his catacombs, and he might be able to, like, go for a walk under the tunnel like that. And remember, we're on the surface, right? When you're on the surface, the distance is greater, isn't it? Plus you've got oceans, and you've got roads and little barriers and things like that to cross, haven't you, right? But the beast, say he had a tunnel and he's been there all along, he can walk around like that, right? He can literally walk around the whole earth like that in some kind of tunnel, catacomb or whatever, yeah, right? And then maybe come up to the surface in one place, maybe come up to the surface in another place, maybe actually access every single country on earth, maybe. Because it's a shorter distance for it and his little mob of knobheads to go around harassing people from beneath the earth, right? Every possibility, isn't it, folks, that this creature it's never been seen, it's never been recorded, it's never been filmed, no one knows nothing about it, do they, folks? But I've seen it, man. It was a monster. Horrible monster. It was like, he stunk of old smelly blood and shit and all kinds of stuff. It's something, think about it, we're talking about a creature used to just tearing people apart and eating them, like. It's vile. But there's a thing in the Bible called Abaddon, right, folks? Now, Abaddon, this is where the mistake is in most people's definition of the Bible. They think that Abaddon is the beast. No, the beast is what I've just told you. It's a smelly animal, loads of people worship it. What do you think Abaddon is, guys? You know, Abaddon, the destroyer, Abaddon. And it says, like, he will rise up and emerge. And it's basically, it's the time when all this is going to be finished off, folks. Right? The equivalent of this red thing in the middle just emerging one big, massive, like a star exploding and just smashing everything to pieces, man. That's what I think that is all about. Or the Abaddon. Remember, Abba means the father in the scriptures. Think about that clue there, folks. Abaddon. In, like, you know, like in like mafias and like syndicates and gangsters, the Don is the man who knows everything, man. You know what I'm saying? What's he called? Don Corleone. Hey, Don Corleone, I need a problem. You gotta help me out. Let me tell you what to do. I'll tell you everything. The Don knows everything, don't it, right? Well, something's called Abaddon, the father Don. What's it telling us, folks? What's the little clue there telling us? That this is a first, by the way. I'm the first person to reveal this knowledge, hopefully. But when I did the second magic mushroom trip, right, folks. You can read that yourselves and make it out yourselves and read it. Abaddon the Destroyer. It's there. It's look at where it is, man. The planet is right in the middle of a planet that's got all kinds of sin and crap going on, and evil people cheating on each other and killing each other and everything. And in the middle there, right, is some kind of entity called Abaddon, and he's gonna batter everyone because it's it's God's. You know, like you'd have the self-destruct button on something just in case it falls into the enemy hands. You have a self-destruct button. That's the self-destruct button of the planet we're on, folks. I'm still up there like a little tiny dot, right? I drop a magic mushroom chip, right, folks, and this has got nothing to do with the mushroom chip with the beast. I still continued to yeah, I was that crazy. I still continued dropping the trips, even after me being beaten up by a smelly monster. But this journey I had, right, folks, it was I was in a friend's house, and he had some as well. You know what I mean? He was rolling on the floor, going, "Oh man, I'm off my head. I can't believe this." I couldn't even open my eyes, right, guys. I had to go on the chair, you know, the arm of the chair, and put my head on the arm of the chair. You know, normally most people are talking and they're going on about things, aren't they? They enjoy it. They're looking at pictures and holograms and stuff, or movies. I was like this, right, guys, with my eyes closed like that for like 3-4 hours maybe. I couldn't move. I was paralysed, right? I had my eyes closed. The dude in the room was playing music really loud, and it was quite enjoyable. He was actually playing the Doors of all things, you know what I mean? Like the American Prayer and things like that. Imagine it, Magic Mushrooms, the Doors. I'm like, oh man, this is so heavy. But what I was seeing, like, folks, I felt like I was there at the top where I am there, like, I was up here, and I just went like an elevator, right, guys, like an elevator. I went right there, mate. And I'm going to reveal for the first time on British YouTube television what I saw. I have my eyes closed. Obviously, I'm in a room on the surface of the planet, right? Which I know is a globe, right, folks? But it's not a great place. It might end tomorrow. It might end in 20 years. It might end in 30 years. It might end in 50 years. It might end in 1,000 years. It might end tomorrow. Because what I've seen, it could end at any time, right, folks? But I'm sure God's letting us all learn the lesson first, right? I got to the centre of the earth right here, guys. And I'll tell you exactly what I've seen. Right, and for it, I'll draw another picture, right? Just imagine what I've just showed you. Down that elevator, I didn't feel like I was in an elevator. I didn't see anything visually. It was just a sensation of going. I went down, man. I went down deep. I was still in my chair, but in my head, I was kind of like, hold on, what's going on here? Where am I going? I got to this, like, what looked like, I'll erase the earth picture, right? Don't save. But you've seen that picture I've just drawn, so you know what I'm talking about. In the core, the earth's core, right? I got to this room. I can't draw it brilliantly, obviously, because I'm just using like a quick thingy, like. I seen this thing, like, it wasn't the big smelly animal, right, guys? It wasn't that big smelly animal with bad teeth and, like, human feces and blood stuck in all his hair and everything. That was disgusting, right? This was like, I'll try and draw, like, what I've seen. If you imagine something sitting on a throne. I won't say too much, right, folks? I don't want to say too much because there are certain elements of this secret that I'm not really meant to tell anyone, right? But I'm trying to let you in on something just in case you're a bit lost on the difference between the beast and Abaddon, right? I still haven't confirmed this. This is my own suspicion of what I witnessed. Imagine an animal sitting on the ground on like a throne, right? I'm doing this roughly, obviously. Like some kind of throne like that, right behind his head or whatever. And I won't draw other things. There was another being there basically has his footstool on the floor. He was some kind of regal animal, primeval creature, right, folks? I won't draw what he looked like. He had two piercingly staring eyes, and it looked like, if the best way I can describe it, right, folks, the animal, he was sitting down on a throne. He was silent. He didn't say nothing to me. He wasn't trying to frighten me or intimidate me. He wasn't scary in that sense, but it was terrifying because I didn't know what I was seeing. Right, behind his back, if you imagine everything in multicolours, but like, you know, the kind of colours that you'd see in fire. I don't mean flames, folks. I don't mean like flames and naked flame. I mean this like it was like this, right? If I just try to get like a rough idea, the background, what was all around him, what was all the entire. It wasn't a room. It wasn't a you know, like a hall or a room. It was this big space, right? And he was sitting on this throne, and all that stuff in the background was like stars, like the stuff plasma, what a star might be made of. But we're not on the surface, on the inside. It was like, it looked like all these multicoloured stars all joined together. So the place was lit up. It was kind of lit up. And I actually felt, I'm in the centre of the earth here, man. I'm right in the centre of the earth, but what the bloody hell is that thing there? And he was looking at me, man, just staring at me, yeah, right? And he looked like the most amazing gorilla type creature I've ever seen. That's what I can best describe it as. He looked amazing, he looked immaculate. His eyes were piercing, staring at me, not doing anything to frighten me. There's geezers on all fours under his feet. I won't go into detail about what I've seen there, because that's something else for another speech, right? This primeval animal, obviously it wasn't clothed or anything, right, folks, but it wasn't, I couldn't really focus on the rest of its body. He was like this. If you imagine it just staring at you like that for like maybe an hour, 2 hours, I lost track of the time, it was that crazy. And he was staring at me with these piercing black eyes, totally silent. Didn't say anything. All I could hear, I could still hear the music in the room, what the guy was playing, the Doors records and stuff like that. That was nothing to do with the Doors or nothing. It was just the timing, if you know what I'm saying. But the animal looked primeval and absolutely incredible, if you know what I mean. It looked immaculate. And I was thinking to myself, did God put that there as the Abaddon? Is that the creature that's going to decide when it's time to just throw off the entire planet forever, mate? Does he get up out of the chair and just go for a walk through space or something like? Right, and because of the sensation I had of being deep in it, not deep underground, but I was like, I could literally feel being at the centre of the entire planet, folks. I could sense it. It was amazing. I was like, what is going on? All this plasma light in all directions. I can't describe it. I can't put it into words. If I ever paint it in a picture, I like to paint a proper picture, a detailed painting of it, like, and say, this is the Abaddon. If people can argue with me and say, that's not the Abaddon, that's not this, that's not that. He wasn't the devil, guys. He wasn't anything like, I'm ever so scary. But it was terrifying. It was like, I was like, I hope it doesn't get up and come at me, because I'm going to scream like a baby. You know what I mean? It was bigger than me, it was greater than me, it was stronger than me. But it was a dark, menacing kind of presence that was like, I could just take you out right now. You know what I mean? It was quite frightening. But he didn't do that, he wasn't frightening me, like. So do you think, I'm going to finish, I'm actually, no, it's quite interesting, but I want to stop there because I want you to stop and think. Read what it says, what Abaddon's about. The destroyer, folks. Not just like, he's going to change this, he's going to change that. He's going to destroy everything, including the beast. Just above him on a like, what, the beast thinks it's deep and out of sight. And that thing's right underneath it all along it, or it's right it's beneath all of us, it's in the middle of us, right? Because at the middle of this planet is a star. We know it's a star. It's plasma. It's emanating volcanic fire, and by the time it reaches the surface of the Earth, the chemical, constituents start becoming like smelly smoke and fire, don't they? Like, but right at the centre of it all is this immaculate star holding this animal, what I thought was the Abaddon, like, right? I'm going to leave it at that, like, I'm not going to say any more, like, folks. I've only done this speech, I mean, it's a bit long, I know that, like, but I've only done this speech because I needed to make sure my microphone's working. If I switch this on now and it's crap and I can't post it on YouTube, I'm going to go apeshit. Pardon me French. So, anyone, what do you think out there, guys? You think it's interesting? I don't know. Has anyone of you had a similar experience? Have you ever seen anything like this? It was silent. It looked incredible. I can't, it looked like one amazing creature, and it wasn't demanding anything or telling me to do anything, but it was looking at you to say, do you realise what you are seeing here, Bruce, has never been seen by any human being ever? It was like that kind of ESP signal, do you know what I mean? I was like, wow! Me mate, the lad who I was with, he was meanwhile on the floor rolling around going, wow! I don't know what he was seeing, I didn't have a clue, we didn't have an ESP thing going on, but we were both heavily tripping on mushies, right folks? And then when it all sort of faded and the trip started to end, I felt myself leaving that place again and coming back up to the surface, and I was back in my armchair like this, and then I sat up and I was just thinking, I just cannot believe what I just seen there. I didn't tell the lad in the room, I was like, oh, what on earth is that? But in my hindsight, in my knowledge, in my understanding of things, right, I saw the Abaddon sitting there, like, he actually told me, like, it's okay to tell people, you see. I don't know if I'm breaking any rules, but I think it was like, tell them, Bruce. Tell the human race what you see. I think it's like a representation, what's the word? A personification of God, planted on earth, ready to smash us all to pieces where it's all over, folks, And those of us who are stuck to the faith or whatever, and flat earth could be in there. It's got his name in there, folks. Abaddon's mentioned in there, you understand? It's in the scriptures, right, guys? Well, it's in the actual book, right? You know the score. It's not in the scriptures, but it's in the book, right? It's wrapped up in there. That creature is real, folks. That's the destroyer. I've seen it on mushrooms. I sound like a madman, don't I, obviously, because we're talking about drugs, aren't we? But if you imagine all of it, I don't know if I can do this, where I can just start, before I finish it, so, the creature was kind of black looking, or maybe it was like a very dark green, I don't know, it was a very dark animal, yeah, but it wasn't like, but he was illuminated completely, everywhere around him was lit up. Can I, no, we won't do that. Won't do, because it made me doing the colours one by one. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with that, folks. And this is just to like see if I'm like it's recorded okay and that, like. So I'm going to post it. Is it interesting, folks? Do you think, talking a lot of gobbledygook? But that's why I think the Earth is definitely a globe. But it is just on the surface of the Earth is the world, isn't it? The world is all the oil wells, all the pollution, all the people, everyone buying cars too fast. All the stuff that's meant to happen, right? What's going on the surface? The beast probably has got plans from just below the surface, thinking he knows everything, and little does he know that's like in the middle of it all, like ready to battle the beast, mate. and the dragon as well. Remember, it's a dragon and a beast, isn't it? You know what I mean? But man, the Abaddon, the father Don, the destroyer. I think I'm telling the truth, don't you? It's up to yourselves. But thanks for watching anyway. Like I say, I'll keep it brief. I say thanks for watching. And if this has been very interesting to you, I will try and work out something else that I've got to say that'll take it to another level if it's possible. So thanks for watching, And please comment and tell me what you think. Read your Bibles, tell me what you think of that passage. Does it match up with what I'm saying? The star at the centre of the earth. Thanks for watching. You've been watching Roller Coaster Ride.